There is a profound difference between the one who is always busy, running from task to task, and the one who steadily builds themselves into something greater each day. The first lives a life of activity without progress, while the second cultivates a life of growth, achievement, and meaning. And it is here that I must draw your attention to the truth that has guided the lives of the most accomplished men and women throughout history. Focus not merely on doing more, but on becoming more. For the true measure of a person is not in the length of their to-do list or the number of hours they labor, but in the character they shape, the wisdom they gather, and the influence they radiate. You see, many people mistake busyness for progress. They believe that if they rise early and retire late, if they answer every call and chase every opportunity, then surely they must be advancing toward success. Yet look around, and you will see countless individuals who work endlessly, but remain in the same place year after year. Their days are crowded with action, but their lives are starved of direction. They have mistaken movement for momentum, and in so doing they have robbed themselves of the greater prize, personal growth. The truth is that the quality of your results will always be limited by the quality of the person you are. If you are small in vision, no amount of effort will lead you to greatness. If your mind is clouded with doubt, no accumulation of hours will produce clarity. If your character is weak, no task completed will bring lasting honor. You cannot reap more than what you have first sown within yourself. The world is simply a mirror reflecting back to you the depth of your own becoming. Consider the man who is given a fortune, but has not cultivated wisdom, discipline, or responsibility. That fortune soon slips through his fingers, for he has not grown into the kind of person who can sustain it. On the other hand, consider the man who has little, yet invests in learning, in discipline, in faith, and in vision. Even if all he owns were taken away, he could rebuild, for his wealth resides not in possessions, but in who he has become. To build a fortune, a career, a family, or a legacy without first building yourself is to place a mighty structure on sand. Sooner or later, the storms of life will reveal the weakness of that foundation. Every man and woman who has ever reached greatness understood this law. Success is not pursued, it is attracted by the person you become, and becoming is a process of conscious growth. It means reading when others waste their time. It means disciplining your mind when others indulge in distraction. It means striving to improve your habits, your thoughts, your speech, and your spirit, until the world itself must acknowledge that you are no longer who you once were. But let me be clear, becoming more does not happen by accident. It is not a gift handed down from fortune or fate. It is the result of deliberate effort, guided by vision, and reinforced by persistence. Each day you must ask yourself not merely, "What must I do?" but rather, "Who must I become?" For the answer to the second question will always determine the power of the first. The man who strives only to do more may find himself exhausted but unchanged. The man who strives to become more finds that each task, each challenge, each hardship is a stepping stone to his own advancement. Let us speak plainly. Your future does not depend on the hours you work, but on the growth you achieve. You could double your efforts, triple your hours, and still remain in the same condition if you do not expand your capacity. But the moment you elevate your vision, strengthen your character, and expand your skill, you multiply the results of every action you take. The world pays not for effort alone, but for value, and your value is the direct reflection of who you are. Think of the farmer. He may work from dawn until dusk, but if he has not enriched the soil, if he has not chosen the finest seed, his harvest will be poor no matter how long he toils. Another farmer, with fewer hours but greater wisdom, will reap 100-fold more because he understood that the quality of his labor lies in preparation and growth, not in sheer activity. so it is with you. Your mind is the soil, your habits are the seed, and your character is the season. What you become is the harvest. If you wish to rise above the ordinary, you must cultivate extraordinary habits of thought and action. Do not ask, "How can I do more?" Ask instead, "How can I think on a higher level? How can I respond with greater wisdom? How can I lead with deeper integrity?" For when you grow in these ways, your work multiplies in value. A single decision from a mind refined in wisdom can accomplish what 1,000 tasks from an untrained mind could never achieve. But beware, for the world is filled with temptations that lure you into endless busyness. Social obligations, trivial tasks, meaningless distractions, these are thieves that steal your time and disguise themselves as productivity. The masses are caught in this web, forever racing but never arriving. If you would separate yourself from the masses, you must refuse to measure your worth by the number of things you do. You must instead measure it by the depth of who you are becoming. Growth requires sacrifice. You cannot become more while clinging to the habits, fears, and comforts of your present self. You must let go of old limitations. You must dare to rise above your excuses. You must step into discomfort willingly, for discomfort is the furnace where character is forged. The one who avoids struggle avoids growth, and the one who avoids growth forfeits greatness. Each day presents you with two choices: remain as you are or rise to what you could be. Each conversation, each challenge, each decision is a seed planted into the garden of your becoming. If you plant seeds of courage, you will reap confidence. If you plant seeds of discipline, you will reap mastery. If you plant seeds of wisdom, you will reap influence. But if you plant seeds of fear, procrastination, and complacency, you will reap mediocrity. The choice is always yours. Understand this. The universe rewards those who prepare themselves for greater responsibilities. It does not hand the crown to those who merely run harder. It bestows it upon those who have grown into the stature of kings and queens. When you commit to becoming more, opportunities find you, doors open for you, people are drawn to you, for the world cannot resist the pull of a person who radiates growth, purpose, and vision. And let us not forget, becoming more is not for your sake alone. It is for the countless lives you will touch. A candle does not burn brighter for itself, but to give light to others. As you expand your wisdom, you guide others. As you strengthen your character, you uplift others. As you increase your capacity, you create opportunities for others. The greatest legacy is not what you accumulate, but who you become, for who you become will shape the destiny of everyone around you. So I urge you, stop measuring your life by how many things you have done. Begin to measure it by the person you are becoming. Did you expand your vision today? Did you refine your discipline? Did you strengthen your spirit? Did you grow in patience, in resilience, in courage? These are the measures that matter. For when you become more, everything you do becomes more powerful, more valuable, more enduring. Do not rush through life in pursuit of tasks. Slow down, reflect, and ask yourself daily, am I growing into the person worthy of the dreams I seek? For dreams are not achieved by accident. They are entrusted to those who have grown into the kind of people capable of fulfilling them. Your dream is waiting, but it waits not on your busyness. It waits on your becoming. My friend, life is not a race to see who can do the most. It is a journey to see who can become the most. Every day is an invitation to step into a greater version of yourself. Accept that invitation with courage, with faith, with persistence. Focus not on adding more to your schedule, but on adding more to your character. Focus not on doing more with your hands, but on becoming more with your heart, your mind, and your soul. And when the end of your days arrives, you will not wish you had checked more boxes or hurried through more tasks. You will look back with peace, knowing you became the fullest version of yourself, and in so doing, gave the world the greatest gift you could offer, the gift of your becoming. That is the true measure of success, and it is within your grasp. Begin today. The temptation of life is to always chase after the visible, the immediate, the applause that comes from doing more. But understand this: the applause fades, the recognition vanishes, and the lists of tasks accomplished soon gather dust. What remains forever is the invisible substance you carry inside, the strength of your will, the clarity of your vision, the purity of your motives, the wisdom of your choices. These are the treasures no thief can steal, and no storm can destroy. The man or woman who has become greater within can withstand losses, betrayals, and defeats, and still rise again, because their foundation rests not on what they did, but on who they became. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow beyond your present self. The hardship is not there to punish you but to shape you. The struggle is not a curse but a gift, for it calls you to develop qualities that ease and comfort would never demand of you. The adversities you resent today are often the very chisels carving your character into strength. If you run from hardship, you remain the same. If you face it with courage, you emerge transformed. That transformation is worth far more than the completion of 100 easy tasks. It is easy to confuse busyness with importance, but many busy people are forgotten, while those who became more in mind, spirit, and character leave their names engraved on history. Look at those who changed the course of the world. They did not simply do more, they became more. They elevated their thoughts until their vision stretched beyond the horizon. They trained their wills until nothing could bend them. They refined their hearts until they could inspire millions. You, too, are capable of this elevation, if only you would turn your focus from constant doing to deliberate becoming. The true path of growth begins with self-awareness. You must look honestly at yourself and ask, what is the limit within me that holds me back? What weakness must I confront? What strength must I cultivate? This is not always pleasant work, for it requires humility and courage. But it is the work that separates the person who stays bound to the average from the one who rises into greatness. Self-awareness reveals where you are small, so that you can grow tall. It exposes where you are blind, so that you can see clearly. It shines a light on where you are weak, so that you may strengthen yourself. Once you know where you must grow, you must commit yourself to discipline. Growth is not an accident, it is a choice renewed daily. To read when you could waste time, to practice when you could be idle, to reflect when you could drift. These are the quiet acts that compound into transformation. A single day may not reveal their power, but weeks, months, and years of consistent effort turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Discipline is the furnace in which your character is refined, and without it, all your desires for becoming more will remain nothing more than wishes. And as you grow, your perspective changes. What once seemed impossible becomes attainable. What once seemed overwhelming becomes manageable. The person you are today cannot imagine carrying the responsibilities that await you tomorrow, but the person you are becoming will be fully equipped to bear them. That is the beauty of focusing on becoming more. The burdens that crush your present self become stepping stones for your future self. You do not simply endure life, you expand into it. Every relationship, every opportunity, every challenge responds to the person you are, not merely the things you do. A leader who has become wise will influence hearts with a single word, while another may shout endlessly and gain nothing. A creator who has become disciplined will produce one masterpiece, while another may scatter countless works into the void without leaving a mark. A soul who has become deep will touch lives in silence, while another who is restless may drown in noise. This is the difference between doing and becoming, the difference between fleeting activity and lasting impact. So I tell you, do not settle for being a mere worker of tasks. Become an architect of yourself. For the tasks will one day end, but who you have become will echo in eternity. And when the world remembers you, it will not be for the endless list of things you did, but for the extraordinary person you became. To become more is to shift your entire relationship with time. Most people see time only as hours to be filled, but the one who seeks growth sees time as an investment, a chance to deposit something into the bank of their own character. Each morning you are handed a fresh account with 24 hours. You can spend it in frantic doing, scattering it across trivial pursuits, or you can invest it in becoming, reading words that stretch your mind, practicing habits that strengthen your will, embracing challenges that deepen your courage. Those who spend their time remain empty. Those who invest their time compound their growth into riches no currency can match. The greatest deception in life is that progress is measured in volume. We are told to do more, to be more productive, to fit more into our days. But what use is a mountain of unfinished, unimpactful actions? 1,000 shallow deeds do not equal one profound transformation. What matters is not the number of tasks you complete, but the depth of growth they produce within you. The world does not remember those who busied themselves with endless activity. It remembers those who grew into something so extraordinary that even a few of their actions shaped generations. When you focus on becoming more, even small deeds take on power. A simple word of encouragement from a soul who has cultivated wisdom can lift a life. A single act of kindness from a heart refined in compassion can alter the course of another's journey. A decision born of discipline and vision can redirect an entire future. This is because the weight of your actions does not lie in their size, but in the substance of the person behind them. Become more, and even your simplest gestures will ripple outward with lasting influence. And yet to become more is to continually shed your old self. Growth requires death, the death of outdated beliefs, the death of weak excuses, the death of limiting habits. Each step forward demands that you bury some part of the smaller self you once clung to. This process is not comfortable. It feels like loss, but it is not loss, it is transformation. Just as a seed must break open to become a tree, so must you let parts of yourself crack apart so that your greater self can emerge. Remember always that the future you dream of is not waiting for more of your doing. It is waiting for more of your becoming. The opportunities you desire are reserved for the person you are capable of growing into. If you chase them without growth, they slip from your grasp. But if you prepare yourself, if you grow into someone equal to them, they come seeking you. Life bends in the direction of those who elevate themselves. You do not chase greatness, you attract it by becoming worthy of it. So measure your days not by how busy they were, but by how much you grew. Ask not, how many things did I accomplish today? Ask instead, did I expand in vision? Did I rise in discipline? Did I deepen in character? For every day that you become more, you multiply the power of every action you will ever take, and in the end, your life will not be remembered as a blur of busyness, but as the testimony of a soul who chose to grow beyond the ordinary and become extraordinary. To focus on becoming more is to understand that the external world is only a reflection of the internal one. If you are disorganized within, your surroundings will mirror it. If you are restless in thought, your path will appear chaotic. If you are limited in belief, your results will always shrink to match your vision. But when you expand inside, when you cultivate clarity, when you strengthen discipline, when you awaken courage, then the world begins to shape itself around your new stature. It is as though life itself rises to meet you at the level of who you are. Many people spend their entire lives chasing opportunities. They rush toward every chance, exhaust themselves in pursuit, and wonder why success never seems to stay with them. But opportunities do not belong to the frantic, they belong to the prepared. They are like loyal companions who walk with the one who has become strong enough, wise enough, and steady enough to carry them well. If you seek to attract lasting opportunities, then work not only on what you do, but more deeply on who you are becoming. For the right doors will swing open to the one who has grown tall enough to reach the handle. Do not mistake activity for achievement. There are countless people who spend decades running, but remain in the same place. They fill their calendars, they chase endless tasks, yet their lives remain unchanged because their actions are not aligned with growth. True achievement comes when your daily choices are guided by vision, when each act is a deliberate step toward the greater version of yourself. A single year of growth, focused living can surpass decades of hollow busyness. The difference is not in time, but in transformation. Growth is not loud, nor does it demand constant attention from others. It often happens quietly, beneath the surface, where no one can see. Just as the roots of a tree grow deep before its branches stretch high, so must you cultivate strength in the unseen places of your life, your thoughts, your principles, your faith. When you have become more in silence, the results will eventually speak so loudly that no one can ignore them. You need not announce your growth. It will declare itself through the fruit it bears, and here lies a truth that few understand. When you focus on becoming more, you actually begin to do less, but accomplish more. For the person who has become clear in vision does not waste time on distraction. The person who has become disciplined does not scatter effort on trivialities. The person who has become wise does not chase every path, but chooses the right one with precision. In this way, growth simplifies life. It cuts away the unnecessary, leaving only the essential, and with fewer actions guided by greater strength, you accomplish what once seemed impossible. So do not be deceived by the pressure of the world telling you to do more, to rush faster, to always stay busy. Instead, seek depth, seek strength, seek transformation, for when you grow into who you are meant to be, every action, no matter how small, becomes infused with power. And in the end, it is not the one who did the most who leaves the greatest mark, but the one who became the most. The pursuit of becoming more demands that you treat every moment as a lesson. Life is the greatest teacher, but only for those willing to be students. Each setback whispers wisdom, each failure carries instruction, and each success conceals a deeper principle. When your focus is only on doing more, you rush past these lessons in a hurry to complete the next task. But when you focus on becoming more, you pause, reflect, and extract meaning from every experience. You begin to ask not just what happened, but what did this teach me? How has this shaped me into something greater than before? The individual who lives in this way never truly loses, for even defeat is transformed into fuel for growth. Becoming more requires vision beyond the present. Those who are consumed with doing more live only in the day. Their horizon stretches no further than the next deadline, the next obligation, the next immediate gain. But those who are dedicated to growth see farther. They understand that today's sacrifices are tomorrow's strength, that today's disciplines are tomorrow's freedoms, that today's discomfort is tomorrow's confidence. They walk steadily in the present, but with eyes fixed firmly on a future that demands their higher self. The most powerful transformations are often invisible to the world until they burst forth in undeniable ways. The mind sharpened in solitude eventually produces ideas that shape generations. The character forged in obscurity eventually earns trust that moves nations. The heart refined in silence eventually radiates love that heals others. So, never underestimate the unseen process of becoming. While others may laugh at your quiet efforts, while they may chase after surface rewards, you are laying foundations that will outlast noise, outlast fashion, outlast even your own lifetime. It is also important to understand that becoming more is not a selfish pursuit. The world benefits when you grow. A stronger version of you creates opportunities for others. A wiser version of you gives guidance that uplifts. A more disciplined version of you inspires those who falter. Your personal growth is a gift not just to yourself, but to everyone whose life touches yours. The river that grows fuller nourishes more land. The tree that grows taller offers more shade. The person who grows greater gives more to humanity. Ask yourself then each morning, if I continue living today exactly as I did yesterday, what kind of person will I become in a year? If the answer does not stir excitement or inspire pride, then something must change. For your habits shape you daily, silently molding you into your future self. You cannot escape the law of becoming. Every choice you make is chiseling the statue of who you are becoming. The only question is whether you are shaping yourself into mediocrity or into magnificence. And so the challenge stands before you. Do not be satisfied with adding more tasks to your days. Do not measure yourself by how much you manage to do. Instead, measure yourself by how much you are expanding, strengthening, elevating. For when you focus on becoming more, life itself bends to your growth, and every path opens wider to welcome the person you are destined to be. In the end, life will not reward you for how many boxes you checked or how many hours you stayed busy. It will reward you for the depth of who you became in the process. All the tasks, all the effort, all the striving only matter if they shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, kinder, and more capable than before. So do not chase after the illusion of doing more. Chase after the reality of becoming more. For when you grow into the fullest version of yourself, the things you do will carry greater impact, your influence will extend farther, and your legacy will shine brighter. Choose growth over busyness, becoming over doing, and you will not only achieve success, you will embody it.